What's up, preppers? Welcome back to another video. Here is another list. We know you love lists. So here's 10 things that you should hoard that are not food. First aid and medication. So as far as I'm concerned, you can't go wrong stockpiling any sort of first aid. It's always going to come in handy in peace times as well as SHTF. What I'd recommend highly is the one I've got, which is a large first aid kit with everything you need in it. It's what you need to get started completely. You can add to that as time goes on. You can create larger kits. You can create larger stockpiles, especially of stuff that's going to be used up quite often. Things like burns, gels, and simple plasters. Obviously, you're going to want more than what comes in one of these kits. Now, the other thing with this is don't forget, if you are on any sort of prescription medication, if you can keep some of that back and start to make a little reserve of that, that would be handy, but I know that can be difficult. Over-the-counter medication, however, is not. So stockpile on things like painkillers, anti-diarrhea medication, and all sorts of anti-allergy tablets and creams and sprays and whatever you think you need, especially if you've got kids as well. Can't go wrong with a stockpile of Calpol. Water. Now, not just stockpiling bottles of water and big containers of water, but stockpiling stuff to filter water. Berkey filters like I've got, as well as life straws. A few of them will never go amiss, but actually starting to stockpile things like this will give you much better options if the water does go out in the long run. Stockpiling water itself, just remember that if it's settled, you've got to kind of shake it up a bit. If it's a bottled water, make sure you keep it moving. Make sure it's not in direct sunlight or anything like that. It can go bad and it can get stuff off the plastic, but I'm pretty sure in an SHTF situation, it's going to be cleaner than most things you'll be able to drink. Toilet paper. Now, we all saw it. We saw how quick it went during the COVID pandemic. We saw people fighting over bog rolls, and yeah, it was just insanity. And since then, it's been a marketer's dream. Even on popular video-based social media platforms, there's offers of ridiculous amount of rolls for X amount of money. But I've got a bit of a trust issue with that specific platform, so I'm definitely not going to be giving my credit card details. I have, however, found decent offers online on Amazon. Sometimes you'll go into the supermarkets and they'll have an offer on there. So just pick up more than what you need each month, and it'll very quickly build up to a nice stockpile. Just remember, with toilet roll, same problem you have at home as they have in the supermarkets. It takes up a lot of shelf space. So make sure you take that into account. Duct tape. Now, there's all sorts of brands. Gorilla Tape is one of the best ones that I've found, and literally you can plug a leaking barrel of liquid with a piece of Gorilla Tape in one easy slap, if you believe the adverts. But I have actually tested it. It is actually that good. You can get cheap duct tape in bulk. Yeah, I've got it before, but when it comes to something like this, if you're just buying one roll every so often to start to build up a stockpile, then I would try and get something that has really got a good name and a good reputation. Fuel or gas. Obviously, we've seen massive fluctuations in fuel prices in the UK. So if you could put some petrol or diesel aside, then excellent. Just keep in mind that it does have a shelf life. So you should keep an eye on this and look at the consistency, as it can degrade over time. And you'll notice this visually, as well as obviously the performance of it. When it comes to fuel and gas, for me, obviously, I've gone down the electric route on the cars, so I'm looking at solar panels to charge that, etc. But for gas, I use the camping gas stoves, and there's a great bulk deal that I get off Amazon, and it keeps me topped up, which is 28 tubs of this gas for like £28 odd. So it's almost like £1 a can for the gas for the camping stove. So it was a no-brainer for me. I always keep that one stocked up. Candles and lighters. Candles are absolutely essential if we have a grid down situation. You can only rely on torches and batteries for so long. Candles are a great thing to have stocked up in mass. They don't take up loads of room. If you get good quality candles, then they burn for a decent amount of time. Just ensure you're only using it when you need to use it. Don't leave a candle burning overnight, all night. Just blow it out before you go to bed. I've even found a 50 pack of candles on Amazon, which I've linked below, for £10.99. And even with a postage cost on top of that, it's still very much worth it. So if you can get them cheaper anywhere else, please let me know. But that's the best deal I've found, and they're great to stockpile. Not only source of light, but a small source of heat as well. In desperate times, I have heated up a metal cup of water on the candle to make a brew. And yes, it worked. With the candles, always make sure you've got an abundance of lighters, matches, and other things like this. Obviously, you're going to have fire starting kits like for your tinder, but with lighters and matches, it's worth keeping quite a lot on hand, because not only do they run out, do they expire, but also they're easily lost. So wherever you've got a box of candles, make sure there's a lighter and a box of matches with each one at least. Refuge sacks. Now this one is essential for all the worst reasons, all the things we don't want to talk about, but not just for household rubbish, but for human waste. So when it comes to refuge sacks, please do not go and get the home brand or smart price wafer thin ones. You know, the ones I'm on about, where you need to put 3 of them together just to hold a bit of rubbish. Trust me, you don't want that bag to split when you're emptying a bucket that's being used as a toilet in your house. Yes, I know that's a worst case scenario, but still, it's something I definitely wouldn't cheap out on. Supermarkets are very overpriced for good quality ones. Again, I found online you can get the best deals. Make sure you look at reviews for the thickness and the quality. Next is blankets. Warmth is going to be everything when it comes to grid down, power outs, anything like that. So, and colder winters coming in, it's going to be key. So thick, good quality wool blankets are an absolute must. Now, they are very expensive to buy from a proper retailer. However, there's ways and means around this. A good thing to keep an eye out for in charity shops and thrift stores. So always keep an eye out for a good quality thick wool blanket in them. Now, another trick I found, if you don't want to hunt around the charity shops, is removal blankets. They're not pretty, they're not comfy, they are necessity. Okay, and removal blankets, you can get 5 for £15, and they also sell them in packs of 10, 25, and 50. So it works out at less than £3 a blanket, obviously even cheaper as you go up in the quantity. It's quality, thick, heavy duty wool, 200 centimeters by 150 centimeters, so the average size of a blanket, and they're gonna do the job. They're gonna keep you warm. They just don't look that pretty. Keep that in mind. Check out the link below for that one. It's a great little hack to get round these expensive wool blankets from artisan shops. Sewing supplies is next. Not just our sewing kits, but all the supplies that go in it. This is why we say about stockpiling. Extra materials, extra threads, different gauge needles, all the accessories. You can get a really good starter box. You can get a lot of cheap packs. I think I've did a video before where there was a mini sewing kit as part of my medical stuff. But you can get cheap packs like in these little nylon cases. But I've got this wooden box one. As a starter kit, it is absolutely awesome, to be fair. There's not much you need to add to it in the short term. But obviously, if you're out and about and you see things, pick them up, fill it up, get it really stocked out so it's got everything you could possibly need for material repairs or anything like that. Now, remember, material repairs might not just be a little hole in a shirt. It might be something heavy duty like denim or leather. So keep that in mind. It might be something like canvas. Keep that in mind. The last one, but by no means the least one, something you can stockpile, which is worth an absolute small fortune in a Teotihuacan situation. When it gets to the point where people are bartering, this stuff is gold. However, you might not want to barter it because it's gold. And guess what? It's not gold. It's seeds. Yes, seeds. Little packets of seeds. You've seen them everywhere. You get them, you could seal them, you can vacuum seal them, take the oxygen out and really make sure they last. But however you want to prepare them, just start getting them. Just having them in a tub and having a stockpile of seeds could be a life or death game changer for you as a prepper. Every prepper should have some form of seeds. There's a great starter set that I've linked below, which is a selection of all different kinds of vegetables, purely based around eating. Ideally, you want to be growing things that are self-seeding, that you can then take the seeds from to grow new ones. So keep that in mind. And I know that one is kind of skirting the edge on food, and I said it wasn't food, but yeah, it is skirting the edge. I get that. But there you go. There's my 10 things. Now, before we get all the smart comments, there's not only 10 things, there is a lot more. Okay, so these are my 10 that I would recommend to start with. If you think something's more of a priority, please comment it below, let us know, help out the other people that watch the videos and read the comments. Other than that, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for your continued support on the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that wonderful stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
Yeah.